Hello, this is Danny. Welcome to a whole other awesome review. Today I will be reviewing 2012's American Mary. It is a Canadian horror film, independent horror film starring Catherine Isabel. So let's get down to it. What did I think about this movie? So I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. I didn't enjoy this movie as a lot of other people out there that have seen this movie. I would rate this movie a 6 out of 10. Um, This is about a female named Mary Mason, and she is a medical student preparing to become a surgeon. And the thing is, I don't really like this movie because I feel like there's really no suspense in this film. That being said, now this is a really original film. By the way, it's one of the most original films I've seen in a long time. But I have to say, I don't know, it's just not that good, Like I like horror films with where there is some kind of conflict. Um, I don't like movies about mutilation and just like torture. Um, I like there to be a conflict between two characters. Those are the type of horror films I really like. Um, not so much a struggle. I mean, yeah, there are some, films where I, like a film that's like psychological, and that deals with that kind of thing. Like a film like a American Psycho, maybe. But even that film, I felt had more of kind of like something going for it than this film. Now, I'm not saying that I didn't like the concept of this film. I still think it's really original. Now, the interesting thing about this film is it's about a female surgeon that basically takes people and deforms their body. So she's like a plastic surgeon that like deforms people's bodies to the way they want it. And she gets this kind of name called Bloody Mary, basically. And that is pretty interesting. And I have to say I wasn't bored with this movie. I don't think it's a horrible movie. I did kind of enjoy it as like a maybe a rental. I saw this for free on my movie channel, of course, but what I'm saying is it was still enjoyable. It wasn't terrible and it wasn't a horrible movie. It was just it felt like it was an okay movie to me, like a 6 out of 10 kind of. That being said, I think that Catherine Isabel's performance in this movie is phenomenal and fantastic, and she is captivating in this movie. I think that she is a fantastic actress that needs to get even more work than this. I mean, I know that she's doing some more movies, and I hope she stars in a whole bunch more because I just think that she really captures something. I really liked her work in Freddy vs. Jason, of course, and the Ginger Snaps trilogy, which I think is just totally phenomenal and fantastic. By the way, I suggest every horror fan to go out there and watch Ginger Snaps 1, 2, and 3. I'm not a fan of 3, but I'm a fan of the first two films. Those are my favorites. I just felt like the third film uh, I just didn't like that film. That's a totally another subject. But I just want to say what I thought of American Mary here, and I'm just gonna say I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. I think it's a very great film. Um, but it's not my type of movie. Basically, there's just some movies out there that I don't like, and I know to a lot of people this movie is going to be phenomenal. And I've talked to my friend Spider Jack Angel about this, and I felt like kind of like the ending was kind of a letdown. it doesn't have one of those, really great endings. I think they could have done a lot more work with it, basically. And the Spider Jack Angel basically said, that's the one thing let down he thought that the movie had was the ending, and I kind of agree with that, but to me the film just wasn't suspenseful enough, and I mean it had some really good. I'll say this: it had phenomenal acting by Catherine Isabel, of course, as Mary. She was phenomenal in this film, and the special effects were really good. How they used natural, no CGI, just like all natural special effects that looked real. And I thought that was really good. So I'm gonna give it, that those are my bonus points going in there for the 6 out of 10, basically. But I just felt like the story could have been better than what it was. That's not saying that it was a horrible movie or a terrible movie. There's just some movies that I don't quite enjoy as everybody else, and this is just one of those movies. But I will say that Catherine Isabel's performance in this movie is phenomenal, and it's definitely a worth checking out. It's just not my type of movie, and I just felt, I like horror films, like a film like Hostel, for example. Okay, I like that movie because even though it has all the mutilation and like the torture, there's like this struggle against these characters. And it's like this guy getting revenge for what happened. And Catherine Isabel in this movie is getting her revenge, but I felt like I felt like the stakes weren't high enough, basically. Like Spider Jack and Angel and I have gone into arguments about this, but I just felt like what happened to her didn't give her, the real reason to like pull his teeth out and like cut off his arms and feet and like torture the guy to death. I felt like that was just horrible. Like in Hostel, they really have a reason why that guy tortures the guy at the end of the movie. Where in this film, I didn't feel like they went far enough to make me go, okay, this is why she's doing this to this guy, basically. And that's my complaint right there, that I just didn't feel like this was the best revenge story that it could have been. I just felt like he could have done more horrible things to her, which would have gave her more of a reason to come back for what she did. And I just felt like they didn't have that, basically. So all in all, I give this movie a 6 out of 10. I'm gonna say rent it, see it. It is original. They have a lot of cool ideas. There's this really messed up people in this film. There's a like the deformed kind of like Betty Boop kind of character, and then you got this like Barbie doll kind of like woman in this, and it is a really original idea, and when, about the whole like deforming people's bodies and turning them into Barbie dolls, like messed up kind of concept. I mean, that is pretty original. I just felt like there wasn't enough suspense. And I gotta have a lot of suspense when I watch a horror movie. That's just me personally. But I'm gonna give this movie a 6 out of 10. I'm gonna say rent it. Um, uh, uh, you might enjoy this movie more than me. That's why I say rent it, and give your own opinion on this. But this is my opinion of the movie. And again, Catherine Isabel did a fantastic performance, and I can't wait to see her the next film that she's in. She's just amazing. She's one of my favorite actresses. So definitely rent this movie and have an awesome night, everyone.